Welcome to NEXTGames video on June 2020's Ambuscade on Very Difficult. Now this month's Ambuscade is against a single Terrakitos type mob. For the key item of Aquan kills, I recommend going to the home point warp in the Bohera tree. Here you can find the 1 or 10 Aquan kills you need around the large tree or down any of the waterfalls. So while we get our key item, let's talk about this fight. First, it's important to understand that you will not see what ability the enemy is readying, as it will always just say, special attack. You have to pay attention to the animations to know what ability he just used. He will start the fight in what appears to be darkness mode. This means he will take normal damage from physical and magical attacks. My weapon skills normally do around 15,000 damage in this mode, and my magic burst will do anywhere from 8 to 15,000 damage. Now in my 10 plus fights against this NM on Very Difficult, none of his moves have posed a real threat for myself or my trust, with the exception of one. This move has him jumping high into the air and then landing on top of you. If it happens to land just on top of you, it'll normally do upwards of 3,000 damage. Obviously if you don't have Migawari up, you're gonna die. So one obvious way to combat this move is just to have Migawari up at all times. Now alternatively, if you pull him over to where your trusts are, so that your trusts are either behind you or right next to you, the move will hit many of you, and the damage will be far less, usually somewhere around 500 to 700 damage. Now you're normally going to want to position yourself to the side of this enemy so that you're not right in front of him. Especially with this type of enemy, he has moves that do a lot of damage if you're right in front of him. However, there are a lot of times that your trusts are going to end up in front of him, and positioning him, because he's so big, can be kind of challenging. At times, I've just said, oh, heck with it, and just left him where he is, and I have noticed at no point does he actually pose a threat to me or my trust, dependent upon where we are around him. So all the instant KO moves, etc., I haven't actually seen him use any of those, so it does not look like it's as much of a risk as you would think it would be. The real only trick to this fight is making sure you're doing the appropriate damage for the appropriate mode he's in. What I mean by that is he has 3 different modes, and he has different resistances based on whichever mode he is in. Now we've already covered darkness mode, which is the mode he starts in. In this mode he's going to take the same amount of damage from pretty much everything, so I do about 15,000 damage with my weapon skills, and up to about 15,000 damage with my magic burst. Now when he goes into water mode, that's where physical damage is going to take over, and your weapon skills will do anywhere from 35,000 to 50,000 damage each, so you just want to spam weapon skills and skill chains over and over again. If he enters thunder mode, he's going to have shock spikes up, so first you're going to want to turn immediately so that you're not constantly stunned by your swings from shock spikes. Then with your back turned, you want to start spamming elemental San ninjutsu spells. Now make sure you keep your shadows up, and know that Rayton is going to do very little damage because that's exactly what he's got a strong resistance to right now, but the other 5 should do up to 22,000 damage each. Spam them over and over again until he's out of this mode. Know that sometimes he just won't leave this mode, so you'll end up just fighting the entire rest of the fight like this. Fortunately, since you're doing 22,000 damage per swell, it still doesn't take that long. I'm going to go ahead and show you an example of both types of fights. This first one's going to be him entering water spikes mode, and then my second example will be showing you what it's like when he enters Thunder Spikes mode. Enjoy the fight, everyone. I'll go ahead and put some notes up on the screen as the fight goes, just to try and explain what's going on, since you don't actually know which moves he's using, since they're all just called special attacks.
Bye.
That's going to be it for the June 2020 Ambuscade run. I hope you all found that helpful. Look for my intense Ambuscade video coming here in the next day or two. Everyone stay safe and stay healthy.